I'm Anthony Amy in Sunrise, Florida, and many of you might be asking, what is BNC doing at a hockey arena? Well, we're here to visit a history maker. The National Hockey League has been around for 104 years. Yet in November of 2020, the Florida Panthers became the first team in NHL history to hire a black person in the front office role of assistant general manager. The Florida Panthers won their first 8 games this season and wound up tying for the best start in National Hockey League history. Helping to lead that charge was Peterson, the first black assistant general manager in NHL history, who got his unique start in the sport as a child in the Northeast when his mother tutored college hockey players at Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute. In return, young Brett hit the ice.
I was a kid that had a lot of energy, and my mother put me on the ice to really just try to burn it out so I'd go to sleep at night, I think. And it started with a college hockey team, and the coach was nice enough to just get me on the ice and have me push around milk crates. And then from there, after falling on my face about 1,000 times, I just took a liking to the game and really started to kind of devote my life to it.
That life journey led Peterson to one of the country's powerhouse hockey programs in Boston College, where he was a member of the 2001 National Championship team. You're at that point in your life where you have a firm grasp that time flies. It was a little over 20 years ago when you were a freshman on that BC team that won the national championship.
Yeah.
Did you think at that time that there was any remote possibility that at this time you'd be in that chair?
No. When I went to the Boston College, I went there because that's where they told me the best were, and I wanted to be with the best players and try to push myself to the highest level. And I think that's what we aspire to here at the Panthers, is to be the best and to be around the best and make each other better every day. So I think, again, like going back to what we were talking about before, it's these little life journeys and experiences that kind of lead you up to where you are now.
Life experiences that included time in the minor leagues, playing in the AHL, IHL, and ECHL, before becoming an agent representing players. The entire time, Peterson dedicated himself to understanding every aspect of the sport, on and off the ice. How much of it do you take from your experience as a player? How much do you shift your experience from what you went through at that time, the things you endured, the things that you celebrated, and how much do those experiences play a part in how you do your job here now?
I think daily. The beauty about having experience and going through the game is I learned a little bit each step of the way. So I think that I apply things from when I was a young man, learning how to play hockey in an environment where there really wasn't many people that looked like me, as well as continuing on to being a professional and learning how to be at that level and playing at Boston College with some of the best players in the country and learning on where I fit in. And there were so many different small lessons that I really kind of adapted. Let's be really good at learning the small things and completing the small task, and we apply that to everything that we do here, and hopefully it'll lead us to success.
Well, no one will argue that this is a great story, but the fact remains, this is a sport that African Americans have not particularly embraced. A whopping 97% of NHL players are white. Among the other 3%, the total number of black players has ranged between 25 and 35 over the past few years. So it's only fair to ask Peterson if he's ever felt isolated, either as a player or in his current role as an executive.
You know what? I've always felt like home when I was a hockey player and on the ice. I think that for me, I've established great friendships, and even though I might look different than other people, I think that we all have shared, the people that I've always been around have shared the same goals in mind, and that's to be successful. So that's always helped eliminate two people looking different.
How can we as a whole incorporate more black youth in hockey and get more black people interested in hockey?
Come out and see us. It's a fun game. I think the biggest problem with people not being exposed to our game is just not having access to it. And it's an expensive sport, and we've got to figure out a way to try to monetize that cost a little bit to make it affordable for everybody. But I think once you see a game live and you get the feel for it, there's no other excitement that's better.
What's the overall goal for you?
The overall goal for me?
Yeah. What is the ultimate? What's the ultimate goal?
You know what? I've been asked that question a lot, and I think for me, I've learned a long time ago that if you look too far down the road, then you trip and fall. So I always worry about the next task in front of me. Well, when I came down here to Fort Lauderdale, one of the things that I wanted to do was impact the game of hockey, both on the ice and off the ice. Today, we take a huge step in that direction with this great facility. The War Memorial will be a place that will create memories and opportunities for so many. We're excited to be a part of it. I'd like to thank the Viola family for their leadership and their commitment. Pete and I are excited to work with these great young kids. It's an exciting time in South Florida for hockey. We're growing this game. We're going to build it all together. And just like we do with our Florida Panthers team, we have a belief where if we do things together, then we can do anything.
That's an answer fitting for a general manager and possibly one day a commissioner. So when you were explaining just the different sides that you've learned and that you've mastered at this point, this first thing that popped into my mind was this guy could be a commissioner one day. So have you even allowed yourself to dream that far ahead? Is that something that could be on your plate at some point?
Yeah, I think with the beauty about the sport is there's so many different fantastic things to do within it, and I just like to learn everywhere that I can and try to be a better master of being the best assistant general manager that I can be right now, and then whatever information we take from that and see where that goes.
The fact is, representation matters, and seeing people like Brett Peterson and Seattle Kraken announcer Everett Fitzhugh, another NHL history maker previously featured on BNC, creates more awareness, potentially more African-American interest in the sport, and hope for others who may wish to join them in the NHL.
I don't think I can really ever measure it, but I know that when you're aspiring to do something, you first have to have the mentality that you want to do it. You have to have the work ethic, and then you have to really identify that that it's possible. So I'm hopeful that just by a few of us in positions like this, that people will think that it's hopeful and they'll get to work.
In Sunrise, Florida, I'm Anthony Amy, reporting for BNC.